pouring resin out here? I'm live. I think the pouring resin is back on that table.
Yep, you gave it.
Hi, everybody. It's Lisa from Sweet and Sassy Treasures. I am having a total squirrel moment as I'm sitting here thinking about something else that I want to do while we are all here together. I've been excited about this live all day. I'm not going to lie, so excited. So before we get started on my new project, we're going to take this tree from last time. I posted pictures of the little, I want to make sure I get this out of the way, the little pendant that I did with the tree. And I used the paint couture pouring resin over the top of it, and it looked so good. We're going to do the whole big tree. And then actually, let me get this painted white first. I'm so excited. I have had a ton of questions, you guys, about the journal that I usually do. Hi, Mary. So every holiday season, I do a holiday journal / story. And I think this might be year number 5. And so I am, hi, Araceli. Hi, Cheryl. I am a little behind where I normally am with releasing that. But trust me, it is well underway. And I hope to have it open for registration by the weekend, no later than Monday. So I'm just finalizing my sample, and I'm really excited about it. So that's coming. And then the house workshop, Home for the Holidays. Pam, that reminds me, I still have to do the labels. Home for the Holidays. The labels for it. I haven't done that yet.
That's what you're doing on the bottom?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. So, hi, Lori. Hi, Tracy. But things are moving along, and I love to be busy, but more important than that is how much I appreciate all of you. But I love creating this time of year. Like, it just brings me so much joy. Oh, that's right. You guys are going to Lynn's. That's going to be so fun. All right. So I'm going to paint this board white, and it is roughly 9 inches wide and about 10.5 long. And it could be a little too large. Whoa, that is way too much paint. Could be a little too large for my project. I hope not. So let me get the paint on here. And then, oh, maybe not. I forgot how much this just soaks right into virgin wood. So this is going to be so fun. And I don't have the spare time to be on Facebook to do much of anything other than, try and respond to comments and things like that. So if someone else has used this idea, I pinky swear that I am totally unaware of it. And it is in line with things that I have done before. To say that I'm paranoid now is an understatement. All right. Just the right amount of paint. Look at that. Who knew?
Perfecto. Hello, Araceli.
And I don't want my background to be just, boring, one dimension. So I'm going to use Crackle. Let me slide this over. So I'm going to get this dry. Oh, here it is. We may or may not have foil flying about today. Foil flakes. Wonder
Yeah,
what's
messy
causing
little
it.
buttons, aren't they?
Pardon? Yeah. Hi, Judy. Oh, I'm just so excited. Hi, Debbie. Love me some holiday creating. All right. Now, what I'm going to use is cracking paste. And for most of the Pentart cracking products, you need a base. There is one exception, and it's one step crackle, it's called. And so you don't need a primer for that. But for this particular cracking paste, we need a primer. So I'm going to use my cracking primer, and this can be used with any of the cracking systems. So you know how like sometimes you run out of component 1 before you do component 2? This is your component 1, universal. And it is gluish. There we go. So I may get paste in places where I don't have the primer, in which case it will merely be a paste. So it won't crack unless this is underneath it. But like, hello from Australia. It is on my bucket list. I so want to get there someday. So I'm just gonna think about like randomly where I want it. I'm not gonna want to like paint an edge, or like a border. That's not the look I'm going for. And in person, even though I'm going on white, you can see a little bit of a difference. So you'll know where the primer is. And I'm kind of drawing it kind of thin over here. Where it goes thinner, you're going to get smaller cracks. And then I got to think about what I'm doing. So I'm going to go in here just a little in there, put some in here.
Can we see the label on that primer, please?
Absolutely. Let me just wipe the lid of it. That's it. Hi, Sandy.
Hey,
So-
from Texas, but I'll go to Australia with you, Janet Morgan says.
Oh, I know. It is.
Hi, Shirley.
So I'm going to preface this embarrassing story with a reminder that I am a math major with a universal science minor, which means that I have substantial number of courses in all of the sciences: earth science, biology, physical science. Nowhere in there does it say geography, world studies, nothing like that. So while I do think I'm middle brained, I'm zero brained when it comes to where things are located. So Ken and I, every few years, we like to go on, hello, Luann, a bucket list type trip. So this year is the year for a bucket list type trip. Now I'm going to let this dry the rest of the way on its own. And while that's doing that, we're going to switch to using the pouring glaze on this. So I'm going to finish my story, but I've got 2 little like condiment cups underneath it. And I'm making sure that the whole project is wider than those condiment cups. So we went 3 years ago on a cruise to Italy and Greece, which was amazing, but it was exhausting. So this time I thought, well, we should go somewhere that like isn't all looking at all of the historical sites, because I love that. And I wouldn't want to miss any of them, but it's just exhausting. So I just do this like up and down to mix it. So I thought the South Pacific. I realize that it sounds like it's far away, but for somebody with no geographical skills, I thought, how far can it be? I thought I looked and it said a 9-hour flight. So I'm talking to Ken and I said, how about the South Pacific? He goes, you really want to be on a plane that long? And I said, well, it's only 9 hours. He's like, Lisa, there is no way. He's a social studies person. He's like, there is no way. And I'm like, yeah, it's what the internet said. Well, no, it's 18 hours. And 18 hours does not sound like fun, but Australia, to get to my point, Australia would be included. So I'm just literally pouring this on there. And it has a lot of surface tension. So it doesn't easily flow off the sides, which is a good thing. So I'm just going to take the spatula and just coax it over to the edge. And it is self-leveling, but you still want to make sure that your surface is level. It can only self-level to your surface, which I did not do. You can layer the pouring resin as well. So you can do one coat, let it dry, and do another coat. So far, I don't think well, maybe once with Penta, I think on a pendant, I did 2 coats, but normally I just do one. Don't want to use more than I need. I've got a little crystal up there that I don't necessarily want. Under the pouring resin. Pam, you know where that pendant is? It's upstairs on my staging cabinet, the one that I built. Would you mind going to grab it?
Yep.
Yep, you would mind, or yep, you'd go grab it. Thank you. Okay, it's a little thin in a couple of spots over here. So what I'm guessing is that that's where my unlevelness is that my surface is probably tilting to the right. But you can take gloves and just pull this resin right over the sides and get that nice mirrored look over there as well. I'm just going to leave it on the top. And I do normally take my level and check, but I forgot to this time. And it's pretty easy in person to tell where you've missed. So I can tell it's light there and there. So what I'll do is spin this around at some point. Right there.
You might be able to stop in Hawaii for a few days on the way to Australia to break up your trip.
That's what I hear that people do, but Ken's not retired yet, so we have to travel during the summer. And he just doesn't get. There's a little hard, crusty piece in there that I'm trying to move off to the side. Right there. Oh, I don't like to get my hands dirty. So I will take, you want to babysit this for a little while. It's a little light in here. A little bit really goes a long way. I've been working out of the same bottle for quite a while.
Well, Prue's on too. Both of them are from Australia.
Yeah, I really need to get there one day. Do you have any desire, Pam?
Yes, I would love to.
Road trip.
Let's do it.
All right. So, oh my gosh, in the picture you can see how much shine there is. Just going to clean my little spatula off. And what you want to do, especially because I have so much foil dust floating around in here, is you want to cover it. So I'm just going to spin this around the other way. Did I really need to spin it on the cups? Nope, could have just left the cups in place. And I don't have anything going over the edge, so I really don't have to worry about that. But now it will level out. So I will take some sort of plastic container, which I can't remember what I used last time. I think it was something ginormous like this, which seems like it's a little bit of overkill, but and if you are worried about bubbles, just take your heat gun. But that looks really, really good. No odor, 0. That doesn't mean it's safe though. Oh my God, Prue, that is awesome. Thank you. All right, Pam grabbed, so this is the resin on that pendant.
I don't think this will go over it.
Not tall enough, I don't think. Yeah. I've got to use that big one, but you know what I'm going to have to do is just literally move it. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And I don't need it on those cups anymore because it's not going anywhere. I've got it over there, Pam. I'll just empty out one of those big containers, but that's going to look so cool. All right, back to the task at hand. It's almost dry. I've got some still cloudy spots up there, so just going to take my heat gun, help that along. And then this was the gold, 3D gold pen. That doesn't have resin on it. I could have tried that, but that was fun too. Right there. You think that, yeah, that should be good, right? And I got my heat gun a little too close because it's bubbling. I'm going to take a palette knife. This should be good. This will crack well. That up there isn't going to crack very well because it's still a little bit damp. But a girl's package. Ooh, Singapore. Yeah. And it was like Tahiti, Bora Bora, New Zealand, and Australia. So I think our next bucket list trip, so it's like every 3 years, Ken won't be, he should be retired by then. Ken had his way. He'd be retired now because he can. But I'm like, oh, really? Really? I think one of us retired is good. And then he reminds me that I'm not really, in what world do I think I'm retired, you know? He's not wrong. So with these pastes and stuff, you guys, I really would store them in a plastic bag because this has dried out along the outside edge. Oops.
Brew can give you accommodations.
I saw that. I know.
Yeah.
I would just love to see a kangaroo. Not that I think, that that's all that I'd want to see, but I just really want to see one. And a koala bear. But then I want to see a giraffe too. So I really would like to go to Africa, but I'm worried about whatever vaccines you need. And malaria. And I guess you really just take medicine for malaria. Did you know that, Pam?
Nope.
I thought you needed a vaccine, but it's like, nope, you just take medicine. I'm like, what, just pray you don't get it? I don't know.
I think Kay Krings is
No, he does not. Oh, is she?
I think
She's going to Africa, yeah. No, Ken doesn't have to give any notice to retire, and actually teachers don't in Michigan either. Oh, Judy. So this year, oh, you're gonna laugh because of how I started the story. It's gonna be no better than what we did last time. So we're cruising because it's what we like to do. I'm not one to sit still. I'm sure you guys have figured that out. So we are going from Rome to we've never been to Florence, so it's Florence for 2 days. This is cracking beautifully, you guys. I want you to be able to see it. I don't know if you can see it in there. There we go. And then we are going to France and Spain. Look at that cracking. With the fine line crackle, one of the things that I hear most often is people say it doesn't crack. Any of them, you guys. Oh, I so need to go. But any of the cracking mediums will accelerate with heat. So I have yet to have something not work when I've applied heat. Now the question becomes, what color am I going to do? I've got the cracks. I've got white paint underneath, which doesn't necessarily matter because I think what I'm going to do is, what color should I do, Pam?
I didn't know you were thinking color.
Oh, just look out her window and she sees kangaroos. Oh, that is so cool. Tuscany is beautiful. I have to look and see exactly what stops. So we're only in Spain like to, I was going to say deport. That for sure isn't a word. To get off the ship. So we're going to stay a couple of extra days. But no place just did France, which is what I wanted to do. So color. I'm thinking that I'm going to do sandy blonde. Help, Pam, what colors are in here? Sandy blonde. Do you think that's tarnished pearl or crinoline?
Crinoline.
Crinoline. We're going to do sandy blonde and crinoline is what we're going to do. Judy, yes. Now, I'd love to know how you're going to do it. I can't even say any of those words. Carnes, I'm sure that's not how you say it. And then Grote Elant. Oh. All right, I'm going to start with some sandy blend on the bottom. I haven't even told you guys what I'm doing yet. We are doing an angel. You might have guessed that. I went to France. I'd hit the flea markets. Oh my God, absolutely. And Ken's such a good sport.
Ken's a good sport.
But like, how would I get the stuff home? I don't have any of my research done, so I have to. Kaylee, I forgot to do not disturb. Now glazing on this, or accentuating, I'm going to be doing light. So like I think I'm going to use Pentart White Antiquing Glaze. I do have the choice of, it's got umber and got some really nice big cracks up there, which I definitely put the primer on thicker. Well, I think we'll all agree that this looks really ugly. I am on I'm on wood. Costa Rica, that's another place I want to go. I hear that's fabulous. We thought about just like doing Aruba after, I figured out that Ken was, of course, right. And that it was not a 9-hour trip. So this is just crinoline kind of going over the top of that. And you can see I didn't do sandy blonde in the middle so that now I did forget to seal this. The cracking products are water-based. So with these water-based products, you're going to lose some of that cracking. And if you seal it, that doesn't happen. But that's all right. I've got some really nice texture on here.
It is a huge country. Australia.
Yeah. So if you were to go from the south end of Australia to the north end of Australia, how long of a drive would that be? Like just to give me an idea of just how big it is. And what's better than an Australian accent? I'm going to say nothing.
I agree.
Okay.
My series.
Let's dry this. And now I'm going to mix white in. Lots of texture. Hazard's not the humidity. Oh, is it really humid? Oh my God, is the entire US? Oh my God, that's huge. I told you guys, no geography anywhere in my job description. Wow. All right, so I'm going to bring in some white to lighten this all up. And I'm going to resist the urge to mix it with water. And we're doing like a crosshatch. We're going for old world charm here. That went a little more solid there than I would have liked. Do I have a squirt bottle, Pam? Do you see one? Sorry. Is that your fancy way of asking for a squirt bottle, Lisa?
Yep.
So I'm watering that down just a smidgen.
Better late than never, Vincetta.
So I added the water just so I could get it to spread better, and I didn't have that, like that blob I got right there. But I'm avoiding water because trying to not wanting to lose all the cracks. So Sandy Blend, Crinoline, and White Swan. Hi, Carol. I got my brayer here somewhere. I got it out already. I just don't see it.
Sure.
Not really sure of much of anything. I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to run it through the light colors right here. I like that. I like it. Oops. There. I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to talk about what I'm doing, and that I'm sure that this board is too big. I know it's not going to want to stick. It's going to be that gilded element. That ought to be interesting. Then I got to think about the aging. Still got to think about that, whether I should be going. Part of me's tempted to go darker. All right, I'm moving this to the side. Now, I am sure I am not the first to say that that looks like an angel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it in black paint. Now I have little black dress sitting here, so that's what I'm using. We can't get the the black velvet to come out of its little container for some reason. Not that this wants to really either. So even though the bell is already black, I'm still going to put black paint on there because my pigments will respond better. So this is the bell from Bebelos 2. And I'm not certain about whether I'm cutting off that top part or not. Then this is from Victoriana. May or may not use this, but if I use it, I'm going to want it to be black. I cast it white because I was using up leftover resin. So I end up with a lot of these little pieces, and Victoriana has like the most gorgeous little elements. What else? Is that it? That must be it. Okay. If I leave that on there, it needs to be painted black. I'm just not sure yet. Okay. Now I'm going to dry that. Oh, yeah. When we went to Rome in Italy, I did nothing for business, like nothing. So I couldn't write off any of it. If I could figure out a way to do it, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I've just got to find, if I were to go to markets or whatever, I'm sure I could write off a portion of it. I need to get that little guy just a little drier. All right, let me set those to the side. Now, what I did was I went into ye old Google. 3, 4. All right, wait a minute. This goes here, that goes there, that goes there. And I printed off a set of wings. Not that I couldn't have freehand drew them, but I wanted to save myself some time. I can't make these wings available to you because I don't have a commercial license for them. So you could just go on the internet and type in free printable wing template or something like that. And you could get whatever size or shape that you wanted. So the first thing I'm going to do is use this. Oh, let me back up. So I cut one out as a whole and traced it facing up and facing down. So I would have a right and a left. Then I took the second wing and I cut it into sections and I did the same thing. Face up, face down. So I would end up with a right and a left. Oh, yeah, I just have to figure out lives on the ship. See, in that might be, a thing. So I printed this music paper off of Graphics Fairy premium website, but you could use like just music paper too. And then I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distress ink in Vintage Photo and do the edges of the paper. And this is going to be my bottommost layer. So I'm going to want to make sure that it's fairly dark. Same thing with this one. An alternative too is to just cut feathers. And that's what I was going to do first, but it's very time consuming. And so I didn't want to have everybody wait and watch me, attach a bunch of feathers, but that probably would have been my preference. So now I'm going to do the smaller sections. That's that one. I'll do this even though I know you're not going to see any of that. And I thought this paper was going to be a little darker when I printed it. But time was of the essence, so. Oh my God. Prue, that's awesome. And I may tweak these a little bit yet. Okay, we're getting there. It's not at, there's nothing to see yet. It would be really ugly. It is like literally in pieces still. You would be like, if I showed you it, you'd be like, Lisa, really? This is going to be like, you're going to be proud of this? Am I right, Pam?
Yeah, you need to do a little bit more.
Could I have a clean plate, please? But what's exciting is my deadline was the end of the week, and I'm actually going to hit it. I'm going to work my tail off to hit it, but I'm actually going to hit it. Okay, now I'm using Pentart Metal Pigment in Antique Gold. You could use regular gold. I opted to do Antique Gold with Pigment Fix, and that's what I'm going to use on my bell. Oh, shucks. All right, let's see here. Grab another one of those. I got warm all of a sudden. Spatula thingies. Gotta remember, mix this in small batches. Hi, Shannon. Small batches. And a little bit goes a long way. Stuff is just so gorgeous. Sure, it's not the best to breathe in. It's beautiful. All right, now move this over just a little bit. I think I'm leaning now toward the darker cracks so that this pops. So I'm going to seal that. I don't have Big Top anywhere, do I, Pam? I had it upstairs, and I don't think I brought it down. You do not have it. I did bring it down. What I need is a lots pounding over here. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Here, I'm going to give this to you. Do you mind sealing it for me?
Let me just spray seal it.
No,
Is that what you're talking
just
about?
big top.
Oh, that. I thought you meant the wings. Yep.
I already spray sealed them. Thank you. And I'll do this. And this I'm not sure about yet. A, if I'm going to use it, and B, if I want it to be metal. Hi, Shannon. All right, I'm going to take a little pigment fix. I always wonder what should the ratio be of these, you know? But it definitely looks different if you go directly over resin versus over paint. So I'll do another coat because I mixed up my directions. And it dries fairly quickly. So it's already starting to dry. But I don't want to overwork it. And just in case I want to keep that element in there, I'll paint that. I think I'm going to dry brush this. That's what I'm going to do. So that is from Victoriana.
It's so pretty.
And that's so pretty. Wipe off the top of my pigment fix because it's pretty gunky. And then I wonder why my nails are chipped. Okay, that's still gonna stick to itself. I didn't do a very good job. Shucks. Set that side. I know. And I've got a pile of pigment on the sheet too. All right. Let's see here. I have to try this just a little more. I think I'm going to use Dark and Decrepit and Black Swan, Pam. I was going to use the Pentart, but I'm just not experienced enough with it to know what color I want. That's a good question. I don't see it. And then I'll decide, I think that was the top. Okay, let's see here. That in water.
Here's a little baby one that's open.
Oh. Okay, little baby one. I'll use the same plate. Pour it all over my hands. Now I want to water this down. I'll dilute it a little. Use this brush.
I'm going to feel bad leaving you. You're not going to be done for a while.
What do you mean?
Because, I mean, you're going to be on for a while.
No, I'm almost done.
Oh, you are? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I was feeling guilty.
Why? Where are you going?
A Medicare meeting.
Oh, that's right. All
Or
right.
old people meeting.
I am diluting it. Probably wouldn't want to use this brush because it has a lot of big top on it, but that's all right. Do you see my baby wipes anywhere?
Ooh, that's so pretty.
I may not need the black Swan. I may like it just as is.
Yes, Cheryl, so bear with me. Paint, crackle, primer, paste, then spackle, then blend, sandy blonde, crinoline, and then white. I'm tired, Cheryl said. Yes.
I'm thinking, yeah, that sounded about right. And that is just a lovely background. You know that I always hem and haw, and then when I add the black Swan, I'm always happy, always. So,
Thanks, Cheryl. Hopefully I'll learn something.
where's the black Swan at, Pam?
Oh, it's sitting right there.
Oh, gotcha.
Little baby one.
I'll use that same brush, so it'll be a compilation. We'll go just along the edge.
Yep, Cheryl, you got it. Look at those crackles. Look at that yummy texture.
As always, good call. Can't go wrong with that combination. Just gotta trust your gut sometimes. Do we have the tight bond? That is one yummy background. Look at that.
Hello, Elizabeth. It's beautiful, Lisa.
Thank you. This needs black spot. It's too bright. And I'm not going to wipe that off. Oops.
Could you Could you put a paint inlay over that with CLP?
Sure. Absolutely. I'm using a gilded transfer. Oh my God, you guys are so funny.
Me, Lisa. Time change as you all just got my nose.
Whoops. All right.
It's going to be pitch dark.
So
here in a half
I
hour.
really am afraid that this background is too big. What the heck? All right. So I'm using, this was the paper I was going to use, and I might be having major regret for not using it. So I've got last year's tinsel, and I used this in my most recent IOD video. And what I'm going to use from this is some of the wording. So I might use all is calm, all is bright. So let me see here. But I love that it has so many words on it. Yep. This is going to be good. So I'm cutting it. The little scraper Majabi do.
I gave it to you. It should be right over there.
Here it is. All right. So I'm putting all is calm. I just got to look to see how I want it. I need it to go down some. Let me go down here. make sure that that's straight. I think it's tipped just a little bit. So if I really want to make sure that it's straight, I'm going to use a ruler.
Okay, Lisa, traffic's going to be a bear. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Here, right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Text me in the morning.
Okay. Because I do want to make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to measure down to that first line, maybe the second line. 1 3/4. Yeah, it's definitely crooked. So if I hold it right across the line, that's pretty straight right there. I'm just gonna took the backing paper off, pick up one of the edges. I'll just stick my paper right underneath there. And I know you're getting a reflection. And more of the backing is going to want to come off because my surface is kind of wet. I would really want it to be dry. So I'm going to get some, it's going to look really good though. I'm going to get some of that residual gold from the background. And I needed to get this on first so I could see placement. Yeah, that looks really good having that on there. Okay. We want to, no, I'm going to do what I first thought. Pretty close together. I'm going to put this back here so I can line it up. It's about where it's at. So they're not going to be on the exact same line because one was beneath the other, but I can still use it as a guide. Just going to want to move it over a little bit. Something's got to be under this because it's bouncing around on me. Gosh, it's pretty. I can't wait till I seal it. And I actually, now that I'm getting that on there, I'm happier with the pages too. So all is calm. And then I have all is bright. And I'm going to stagger it a little bit. So I'm going to want, let's see here. got a little bit of a dilemma because I really want to do that. That's what I'm going to do because that's what I want to do. Okay, it's going to go right there. It sucks because it's not going to an exact line. Yeah. Getting frustrated with my measurements. All right. So that bottom line, it's about 8 3/4, 8 1/2. So it's tipped. Or do I just drop it? I'm just going to drop it down. I'd rather, well, then my wings are going to be in the way. Oh, it's on an angle, I just realized. So again, a little bit of that background is coming off because my surface is tacky and it looks so good. So I just really realized that this word is designed to be crooked. So we've got all this calm, all this bright. That ties together so well. So now I can figure out where everything else is going to go. I'm going to use my Pentard Express glue. Just got to set it somewhere. I got to take a drink real quick. So this is going to go in the corner. If I use it, we'll see. So I'm happy with that right there, but I want to make sure that it's centered. 9, 4 1/2 right there. And I am going to leave that. I'm leaving that on there. Because I'm going to pick it up and glue it, I'm not going to know exactly where that is. So I'm going to put a piece of tape here. That's where that corner of the bell is going to go. And a piece of tape here. And that's where that corner of the tape is going to go. And then it should be, just measure from the corner down. 5 1/2. 5 1/2. So that's perfectly straight. So here's the tape bond. Your surface dry. Mine's still really tacky. When my surface is dry, Pam gave me a full one, so I just have to cut this off. When your surface is dry, it doesn't really come off. In this case, I'm actually going to add more of that, if that makes any sense. The reason I'm leaving the top of the ornament on there is because there is such a thing as an angel ornament without a head. And that's how I'm choosing to view this. So I'm going to take some of this that I just used, and I'm going to add a little of the gold, try and scrape a little of the gold off there. And it looks really pretty. Let's see. And you'll be able to tell a lot better once I seal this. So add some of that gold there. It's just little gold flakes is all it is. And if I really wanted more off, I'd use some paste. That should be. I can always add more to it later. Now we're going to do the wings. So I'm going to take the bottom wing that's completely intact, and I'm going to attach the entire thing. And it's going to go right in the inlet of the bell, right there. That little inlet. And the same over here. And of course, there's a thing of paste right there. Now I'm going to add this part right here, but as I suspected, I want to cut into these leaves feathers just a little bit more. And I'm going to take a paintbrush handle and I'm going to curl them. And because of that, I'm going to want to make sure that the back is a little aged as well. Okay, this is the bottom part. I got to think about this. I'm going to move it up a little bit. That's where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to move it up a little bit. And I'm just going to put my glue on the top. Like that. I'm going to take the other one and do the same thing. I'm going to cut in, cut in, cut in, and see if I can't get some aging in there. Curl these. I don't really want to curl them together. And I'm going to put that like that. I do love my angels. It's crazy, right? Isn't it crazy? Okay. I'm going to try and just use my pinky. Go. This is the fun part. Thank you. Hi, Anna. And I'm really happy with this size board too. Okay, this, because that's heavy that way, this is going to go in the lower corner. Oops, not enough on there. So this mold might have been poured a little bit shallow. Go. Thank you, Debbie. All right, we're going to let that set for a minute. That's going to get paper in it, and it'll probably be a Roman numeral. So this is from Victoriana. And the inside of that could even get painted. I just don't know yet. I want to seal this real quick though, so you can see that pop. And then I got to paint the sides black, and I might add crystals there. I might just seal the rest of this while I'm at it. I sprayed the wings before I cut them out. And if you use sealer on them, it makes the distress ink bleed. So unless you want that look, you might want to keep that in mind. Wipe this off. What did you say? Victoriana. One on the bottom is Victoriana. One of my favorite molds. Oh, that looks so good. So we're going to dry that. The gilded elements look beautiful on black, but I love the subtlety of them on a neutral background. We're going to be able to see this pop. We're getting some glare, but it will photograph really well. Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on, hold on. Let me see here. I just remembered. Hopefully I can squeeze this in there. It might be tough. And I wouldn't care if it looked there was one that said joy. If it looks a little worn, like I'm okay with that. We're going to try it. That came off a little bit, and it's not necessarily really legible, but I'm also like totally okay with that. I'll just take some Big Top. Look at that, you guys. Holy cow, how much it pops on black. Okay. Let's see. I wrapped this about 6 times. I want to go this way. This is hard to do one-handed. Come on. There we go. I don't think I'm going to add crystals. I think I'm just going to add this. There. So while I'm waiting for a glue gun to heat up, I will paint the sides black. Thank you, Carol. Thanks, you guys. No idea what I was going to do today. Lindy had to go to the vet, which is a regular thing. And she has to go to an allergist, and I can't get her into one until February because she has an ear infection that won't go away for like a year. So thank you, Dorothy, again for the glue gun. It is amazing. So let me just get some black here on my plate. Oh, I got some over here. We're going to do the side. Let me move that over. Which one's wide enough? This one. So I would just use any music paper, or you could use dictionary paper, book paper. I would just look for one that has a patina that you like, is what I would do. Okay. So I'm glad the board was this size. Originally, I was going to make it smaller, but I'm really happy with that. Diva Designs. Hi, Mira. She's antibiotic resistant is what they think. And so I guess they won't do allergy testing, but they'll send it out to see exactly what it is. But I don't want her to lose her hearing. And then her ear was so swollen, was like terrible. Okay, now we're going to bring that into the piece like we always do. Okay, now, oh, my ribbon's here, but my hands are really black. Just gonna have to be really careful. I don't want it there. I want it there. And I'll pull that off as soon as it dries. I don't know how. I'm just going to set that there. And you can't see that very well from this angle, so I'm going to hold this up. And hope we can get a better view of it. Thank you, sweet Mira. Let me tilt it. And of course, it's not photographing well. It's way too bright. Hold on. That might be better. And that's too dark, but it's better. There we go. Thanks, you guys, so much for being here. I so appreciate you. This was so much fun. So I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And as promised, the journal story workshop will be available as soon as I get the project done, which I'm going to work on it all night tonight. So by the end of the week, I hope. This board could have been brought down an inch in either direction. So 8 by 10, 8 by 9 would have been good. But thanks, you guys. I appreciate you. Bye, everybody.